Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're looking at a video that I wanted to make about 3 months ago. And the week that I was gonna do it, I ended up getting really sick and lost my voice, so I couldn't really do videos that week. Anyway, this is the survey results from the survey that I put up for the 100 sub celebration. So in this survey, I was just trying to get some basic information from you guys to figure out what you want to see more of. At the time that this video is getting a lot of views and people were taking the survey, the channel was between 100 and about 150 subs. We had 13 people total take the survey, so about 10% of the total sub count, which that's about what I expected, so no big deal there. Anyway, let's get into the questions. So the first question is, do you play mostly paper Magic or Magic Online? And 53% of you play paper only, 15% play mostly Magic Online, and about 30% play both. I'm going to keep this in mind as I try to build decks that you guys might be interested in building, just because there's a lot of expensive cards that you can get very cheaply online that are just very expensive to get in paper. Something like Gauntlet of Might, Mana Crypt's kind of up there, dual lands are generally very expensive. Especially when I start looking into budget decks, I'll keep in mind that the majority of players are playing paper as opposed to Magic Online. Second question. In the second question, I want to know which Magic formats do you guys play most? And Standard, it's no secret that Standard's had some trouble lately. Only one person really identified being a Standard player, 7%. 46% of you are into Modern, which is very cool. And this makes a lot of sense with Modern being really popular. Commander, 100% of you. No surprises there since this channel is primarily about Commander. One person plays Legacy, 0% playing Vintage, not really surprised there, especially if a lot of you are playing Paper. Vintage is just stupidly expensive to get into. Pauper, we had 2 people, 15%. And one person was a limited player, and we had one person who was really into Cube. So for me personally, obviously I play Commander the most, I know the most about Commander. I do dabble in Standard from time to time, I kind of keep an eye on what's going on, though I don't always get a chance to play it. Modern, same thing, but to a lesser extent than Standard. I do watch other content creators make videos about Modern, but I haven't actually played Modern in like 2 years. It's mostly just because I don't really have a lot of time to stay on top of what decks are being played and what's popular. Commander gives me the ability, most of the decks I have I built 5 years ago and made a few updates here and there, but you know, with Commander, you can just show up to the shop, pull out whatever deck, and it's not really a big deal. Also, I've kind of come to really like the non-competitive spirit of Commander. Back around like Innistrad Standard, I played a lot of competitive Standard, and it's just such a grind, and I'm not really looking for that right now. Again, it takes up so much time and so much energy to think about what the top decks are, how you're going to beat them, having a plan, having a sideboard, all that sort of stuff. So for me, that's why I've been sticking mostly to Commander, just because I don't have to worry about a lot of those sort of things, which is nice. Next up, I wanted to know what kind of Commander you guys play the most. And most of you, actually 100% of players, were interested in multiplayer non-competitive. 3 people interested in multiplayer competitive, 23%. 5 people interested in 1 vs 1 non-competitive. We had 1 person interested in 1 vs 1 competitive, good for 7%. 0 people interested in French Commander non-competitive, and 2 people at 15% interested in 1 vs 1 French Commander competitive. Now what's interesting is this survey came out before the 1 vs 1 Magic Online format came about. I know there's definitely some interest there. I did actually have a whole video recorded on my thoughts on the current state of that format. Unfortunately, the audio got messed up on that video. I had to scrap the whole thing and I haven't had time to re-record it yet, but trying to work my way to get to it, so eventually I'll get that posted up. But kind of long story short, I don't think the Magic Online 1 vs 1 competitive format is really ready yet. I think it needs to undergo a few more changes first where it can really be a quote-unquote fun competitive format. Anyway, I'll save a lot of that stuff for the next video. Looks like most of you are interested in multiplayer non-competitive, which is generally what I play on the channel, which is probably also why that has the most results. I think that's also the most popular form of Commander. Most of the decks and videos that I post will probably be in that vein of multiplayer non-competitive. Doesn't mean I won't throw up a competitive game here or there, or a 1 vs 1 game here or there. Most of them will fall into that multiplayer non-competitive category. Next question, do you want to see more games from previous decks, or a steady stream of new decks, or a little bit of both? And 0% of people wanted to see solely repeats of decks. 1 person wanted to see entirely new decks at 7%, and 92% of you wanted to see a little bit of both. Right now, I haven't done a spectacular job of actually getting around to old decks. I do have a few in mind that I want to redo. Next question, I wanted to know if you guys were more interested in budget-friendly decks or if you were more interested in the most competitive builds of decks, and 83% of you said that you're interested in both. So this is something that I need to explore a little bit more as I build decks as well. Most of the decks that I play on the channel, I build for the Magic Online meta, which is a little bit quicker than when I play in paper. It's a little bit more competitive. It's not the most competitive. It's not necessarily turn 5 combo wins, but I find that most games on Magic Online, a good chunk of them will end by turn 8, and I would say that more than 50% of games end by turn 10. When I play paper games at the shop, I notice that games go turn 12, turn 13, turn 15, stuff like that. They're just much longer games. 2 turns is a surprisingly big difference in the length of a game. A game that ends in 8 turns is vastly different than a game that ends in 10 turns. Anyway, so most of the decks that I've built, they're built with a semi-competitive mindset. They're not trying to be the most spiky, win immediately sort of deck, but I want to have a good chance to win the game. I want to have good answers, but also still have some fun, not just completely blow the other decks out of the water. One of the problems about everyone having a lot of competitive decks is that it pushes the really cool, janky kind of decks out. We've seen on the channel in a number of videos that a lot of times there's an interesting deck that looks like it'll be fun. It's a commander that I haven't really seen before, and a lot of times the deck just won't do much and the game will end before that player really gets to show anything interesting. That's a little bit of the problem with the Magic Online meta. The decks are a little bit quicker. It's really easy to get access to the more powerful cards in the format. Most of them are pretty cheap. In paper, cost does hold people back a little bit more than it does in Magic Online. I am working on some budget decks right now, and I'll be gearing the budget towards the paper world, since that's where budget tends to be more restrictive. Anyway, next question. What colors do you play most in Commander? So I had fun watching this as people kind of answered and as time kind of wore on and I got more responses to the survey. At first, green came out by a landslide, and then blue and black slowly sort of caught up. So 46% of you play a lot of blue decks, 46% play a lot of black decks, 61%, so the most people playing green, and 30 and 38% for red and white decks, and 2 people play colorless. In this regard, I tend to play a lot of black, red, and white are the colors that I play most. I do want to get some more videos up for people that enjoy green and blue. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's a little theme that kind of happens. When I play a deck, I tend to get an idea that's in the same colors but a different commander. So the next week, there tends to be like a commander that's similarly related in colors. And every once in a while, I'll just do a hard switch from one color to the next, especially when I was doing videos for all the Aether Revolt commanders. Anyway, so the takeaway there is I'm going to work to get a little bit more blue, black, and green decks into the channel. I played a ton in red and white already with Aurelia, although I haven't explored that many of the other red-white commanders. We'll get there eventually, but for now, I do want to get focused on green, black, and blue. Next question, do you enjoy the quick cutaways in the videos, such as the double kill cutaway? Double kill!
You all become my slaves.
And 84% of you said yes, 1 person at 7% said no, and 1 person said they don't make a difference. Based on this response, I will continue to keep doing cutaways in the videos, but not necessarily every video will have cutaways. When I did the 1 vs 1 league, since it was a more competitive kind of thing, I didn't feel like the cutaways really fit in. When you're just kind of goofing around having a good time playing a game of multiplayer Commander, then the cutaways seem to make more sense. Next question, do you want to see occasional videos for other formats such as Standard or Modern? And literally 0% of you want to see more Standard videos, which I think is hilarious. Although the one Standard video that I post did get a decent amount of views. 30% of you do want to see Modern videos, and 69% of you said just stick to Commander videos. So based on that, I'll largely be sticking to Commander videos. I'm not opposed to doing Modern videos, I just haven't played Modern in so long that I'd have to play a bunch to really get used to the format again. I would also need to play the format enough to feel like I'm offering valuable information on it. I played enough Commander that I feel like I have valuable insight on the Commander format. Modern, because I haven't been in it, I just don't have the same level of insight that I think a lot of other content creators will have. So I'm not saying never, but primarily I'll be sticking to Commander videos for now. If I get a little more time in my schedule, then maybe I'll start exploring some Modern. Finally, I had an open-ended question, what things do you want to see more of? It was a free-form text field response. Got some really positive comments here, and I just wanted to share some of them. So one person said, just wanted to add, you're awesome, keep it up. Next person, my favorite thing you do are deck techs and spotlights. I find your style of building really interesting. Your Carry Zev and Mind Slash videos are really cool. I definitely want to do more of the spotlight videos. And again, it really all comes down to time. I only get like a night or two to really make videos throughout the week. So generally what I try to do is I'll do one video, which is the gameplay video, and then I'll do a shorter video such as the deck techs and spotlights and things like that. The gameplay videos do take quite a bit of time to edit down into the 20 to 30 minutes that they usually are. Most of the games are about an hour long when I film them, and it does take me a few hours to actually edit it down into that 20 or 30 minute video. Where with the spotlights and deck techs, those are much shorter for me. I can usually film them in about 30 to 45 minutes, and it might only take me an hour or so to actually edit down the video. So again, I've been trying to go with one gameplay video and one non-gameplay video per week. Sometimes I miss the mark, and again, it's just based on how much time I have available to actually sit and edit. Next person, nothing specific. Everything on the channel has been great so far. Thank you. Definitely appreciate that. This comment is interesting. More 4 vs 4 videos. I think they meant 4-way free-for-all. Magic Online, unfortunately, doesn't support 4 vs 4. If it did, I would definitely explore that because it seems like it would be a fun format. Perhaps some videos with your subscribers. Keep up the great work. I enjoy watching them. So that's something that I've actually been exploring. And I think sooner rather than later, I want to do a contest where we'll get a couple people together and actually play a game of Commander on Magic Online. Again, it would be applicable to people who play Commander Magic Online, but I think it'd be a fun thing to do, have a little contest. So I need to work out exactly how I'm going to do that, but that is something I am thinking about doing sooner rather than later. This person said, shorter intro, please. So the original intro, and this is something that I was thinking about a little bit on my own as well. The intro was pretty long. That original intro is about 30, 31 seconds. And I found a way to shorten it down to about 15. So from here on out, I'll be running slightly shorter intros on the videos. Next comment, honestly, just keep doing what you're doing, and I'll be happy. Much love to you, my man, from Jacob W. Thank you, Jacob W. Certainly appreciate that. Next person, just using this box to say you should keep doing what you're doing, enjoy the content, the amount of entertainment derived is equal to your positive and informative energy. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. Next comment, keep up the great work, love everything you do, your videos are a joy to watch. Thank you. Thank you again. This person had an interesting comment as well. I'd like to see off the beaten path commanders rather than something be budget or competitive. Just make a cool deck with a cool commander that doesn't see as much play as it should. So that's also something that I want to take a look at as well. I am trying to keep my eye out for cool commanders and cool decks that aren't part of the top 21 commanders that are listed on EDH Rec. All the commanders on this page, I'm sure you guys have seen just oodles and oodles of times, and they're all very powerful and do a lot of crazy things. But it is fun to explore and play decks that do things differently than those decks do them. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this video. I really appreciate the positive comments you guys left me. Being that it took so long to actually get this video out, I'm actually inching closer to 300 subscribers on the channel. I'll probably look to do some fun things when we reach 500 subs. But in the meantime, I do want to use some of the information that you guys provided to me to help shape what videos I do in the future and how I go about doing those videos. So some of the big takeaways are, I want to get some budget decks out there for people that are budget conscious. I want to revisit some of the older decks we played. I do want to get some more blue, green, and black decks posted. Get a couple more card spotlights out there. And the big thing, I want to figure out a way where I can actually play a game of Commander with some of you guys. So that's what I have in the works. And also, if any of you didn't get a chance to actually take the survey, I've closed the survey so you can't go back and take it now, but what you can do, you can leave a comment below and let me know what things you were interested in based on some of the questions that I asked in the survey. Put a comment below, let me know what you want to see more of, and I'll be happy to try to do my best to get more of that kind of content out there. As a side note, if any of you noticed that I didn't post any content for a while, it's because I actually moved in with my girlfriend, so needed a little bit of time to get everything moved and get everything set back up and unpacked and all that sort of stuff. But now that I'm settled in, I am hoping to stay fairly regular on the schedule of one gameplay video per week and one non-gameplay video per week. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. P.S. I just wanted to say thank you for all the positive comments and positive energy. I really do appreciate it, and I do really appreciate the discussions that I have with some of you in the comment section of videos. Don't be shy when it comes to leaving a comment on the video.